Thanks for staying out late with us to talk about something you don't want to talk about. A San Francisco 49ers win over the Falcons. They win 20-10. The Falcons now 3-3 on the season, and boy, do we have a lot to get through. We have Caleb Johnson right to my right from 92.9 The Game. Feeling okay after this one? We're matching. At least there's good synergy between you and I.
Yeah, at least good synergy between someone around here. You know, Maria, I was thinking about this. I was like, I gave up riding wooden roller coasters years ago because my back hurts after I get off. And like, I feel like with this Falcons team right now, wow, I'm back on a wooden roller coaster of my back hurts. And I really want to get off this ride.
I didn't know where you were going with that. But wooden roller coaster is never a good idea for anyone. So don't take that advice, I guess. Gabe Burns from the AJC on the far side. How are you doing, wooden roller coasters and all?
Yeah, you know what? Like on the surface, you think, it's not too bad of a loss. You know, short week, cross country. But having watched it, not great.
Okay, so you said it, not great. I think that's how we all feel watching that one. The Falcons honestly seem lethargic even from the beginning. What are your overall thoughts coming out of this one, Caleb?
I feel like I once again question this coaching staff and whether they can handle the job. And then I also wonder we gave so much credit to the defense and how good it's been, but once again, kind of overlooking the offense will come along eventually. And I think, Michael Penix Jr. made some key mistakes tonight that really cost this team. But overall, it felt like they had a hard time moving the ball, especially running the ball, which was something that obviously they were so good at a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons' entire identity offensively is running the football, and they couldn't do any of that. When you've got nearly 30 yards on the ground at halftime, that is completely uncharacteristic of a team that features the best running back in the NFL right now. Christian McCaffrey has something to say about that. But Gabe Burns, what are your overall thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I agree with everything Caleb said. Yeah. Look, Penix is not good enough right now to lift this team up without a run game. And you look, this defense, which obviously a lot of praise, a much improved unit, got to tackle better. You got to go, we'll get into McCaffrey's performance, but McCaffrey's not been the same guy this year, and he looked like the same guy he used to be tonight. And it's a missed, again, there are spurts where this team looks like, you have something here, it's but generally speaking, more often than not, it looks like it's not well coached. And I think that's really the concerning thing here.
Inconsistency is the name of the game for the Falcons right now. And something that has been consistent has been the offensive line play for the Falcons. Until tonight, it was pretty rough, to be very nice about it. But then you have Michael Penix Jr., who you both had mentioned. It wasn't great from him either. He's a young quarterback. He's going to have bad games. Well, it also looks like right before the 2-minute or just under it, Michael Penix gets rolled up on. To quote Mike after the game, he says that in his post-game media availability, could he be hurt? It is possible. He's going to get evaluated according to his head coach, Raheem Morris. What happens, you guys, if Michael Penix Jr. is hurt at this point?
You remember that roller coaster I was just talking about a minute ago? We are back on it, and everything feels painful because if this team has to turn back to Kirk Cousins, well, I'm sure Terry will get to say, well, this is why I kept him around, but that doesn't give you any confidence for this team moving forward. I think the thing that I'm kind of scratching my head about is why was Penix even in that situation moving past the ankle injury to potentially have it get any worse? Because this game was out of hand at that point. You could have turned to Kirk Cousins, but once again, we're kind of getting back to the coaching missteps that I feel like happened all along the way.
Yeah, Michael Penix Jr. said he feels good enough right now, but we'll see what happens tomorrow when he gets evaluated. I mentioned the offensive line. Mike didn't have a single completion of his 9 passes under pressure. He is struggling when he's getting pressured. That tells you a lot of different things. First of all, he's got to grow as a young quarterback. I know that everyone's very fired up about the arm talent that's there, that's not there. He's inconsistent right now because he's early in his career. Gabe, you saw him struggle a little bit. Are you concerned if he's not healthy or just concerned in general?
I'm concerned in general.
Okay.
I mean, you have to be, because this is a team that has playoff aspirations. And he's a young guy. We can throw all the caveats. Oh yeah, he's developing and everything. He needs to be more accurate. I mean, he's lucky the 4th down pass wasn't a pick 6. Obviously the intentional grounding at the end of the half, it's inexcusable. You can't do that. If you're going to be a good team, and especially if you're going to beat a team on the road. I know everyone's talking about San Francisco's injuries. Kyle Shanahan's still there. There's still good players there. I mean, that's still a good football team. The attention to detail, I think Zach Robinson could help him out more. I think he could do more to give him easier throws. in general, it's just kind of, it's just up and down every week. It's a roller coaster. I mean, it really is, and I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, the 49ers go out there without their 2 stars on defense, Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, and these are 2 guys that obviously have a very easy time getting after the quarterback, but without those 2 guys there, the 49ers, they said, no problem. We're just going to get past all of these excuses that other people have made for us, and we're going to make Michael Penix uncomfortable. They did just that. Someone else that made the Falcons uncomfortable in general would be Christian McCaffrey. By the way, him and Bijan are very good friends. Okay, so it was fun to watch them 2 go up against each other, but he ran all over the Falcons. 113 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 55 receiving yards. It is Christian McCaffrey, you guys, but what made it so difficult in stopping him, Caleb?
Well, it felt like where the Falcons and their offensive line, kind of couldn't get anything going. It felt like for San Francisco, their offensive line certainly was kind of pushing back the Falcons defensively, and it's disappointing because, like I said, we're coming a week off of playing the Bills team where the Falcons were able to get some pass rush and were able to get, to Josh Allen, and this time, whether Mac Jones, trying to move the ball, but trying to stop Christian McCaffrey, there were wide open spaces, it felt like, for him to run through tonight, and he certainly made the most of those opportunities.
Yeah, he certainly did. He looked like it was easy breezy for Christian out there today. We're talking about a lot of these silly mistakes by this Falcons team, Gabe, and there's a lot of questions on 4th and 1. Why are you throwing it to Drake? Obviously, it was incomplete. You mentioned the 10-second runoff at the end of the half, which was a big difference maker because the Falcons could have had a few shots to the end zone. Instead, they're headed to the locker room. Why are these mistakes happening for the Falcons, and why are they so inconsistently on this wooden roller coaster?
And what about the 3rd down, the pitch?
That too.
Right before that. I mean, you're just putting yourself at a disadvantage, and it's play calling, it's accuracy, it's missed assignments. There isn't just one particular thing. There's just. You mentioned synergy earlier. It just feels like there just isn't always, and we've seen it. We've seen it humming, right? I mean, We saw it last week when it was. We know you have perhaps the best running back in football. We know you have a number 1 receiver. The rest of this is just kind of all over the place. And honestly, they have the talent to be better than this, but I don't know that they will be. And that's why this team just feels like another 7, 8, maybe 9 win team. That's just where we're at, as far as just consistency. I don't know.
That's the thing, is this team does have the firepower. That is something that Michael Penix Jr. said after this game. He said, we have too many good players not to be competitive and not to figure it out. Well, they're not figuring it out. They only scored 10 points against a 49ers defense who we mentioned and documented they are depleted. What's going on? Where's the offensive firepower, Caleb, that we have talked about all offseason and this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of a mix of what we've been discussing, whether you want to point to Zach Robinson. And I thought him moving from up top down to the sidelines was going to be an improvement for this team. And I think there have been times last week you saw a lot of creativity in order to start off this game. You saw some creativity from Zach Robinson that got the Falcons moving the ball and got them in the end zone. For whatever reason, I think some of that creativity just went away. They clearly went away from the run, and that was because I don't think they were getting enough push with their offensive line. I know everyone was so excited that Jake Matthews was going to be healthy and playing tonight, but I think Elijah Wilkinson on the other side was kind of exposed tonight, and the Niners were able to get after them, and then clearly you start getting into Penix decision-making, the accuracy issues. It all just kind of combines together to make a product that's really tough to watch, quite honestly.
Yeah, Falcons are going to have to figure it out. Do some soul searching and some synergy in that locker room. I like the word synergy. Let's keep using it. And it doesn't get any easier. You're looking at the Dolphins and you think this team is garbage. You might be right, but they're going to be very motivated coming into that game here in Atlanta next week.